Welcome to a special edition of Orion Today. Throughout the week, we've had our kids camp going on here, where kids from 5th through 8th grade got to learn skills of what it's like behind the scenes, becoming an actor, learning video production skills, and learning what it's like to be in a podcast room. We have a few special co-hosts here. Can you guys introduce yourselves and tell me what it's been like throughout the week?
I'm on camp, and it's been really fun, and I've learned a lot this week.
I'm Miss Elias. I learned a lot of stuff this week, like the cameras and the green screen.
Hi, I'm Esther, and I learned a lot of things about TV production.
Hi, I'm Samantha, and I learned about the cameras.
What's been your guys' favorite part so far this week?
My favorite part was probably the movie that we were making, and probably learning about the green screen to like putting background images on it. Like it looked weird.
Why did it look weird?
Because it looked weird because if you had something like the same color as the screen, it would look like you would be like the image would be inside of your body or something.
Interesting.
My favorite part was probably the movie or being a director in the control room.
I liked the movie and the cameras.
I really liked being the host because it's like you can ask all the questions, and yeah.
Can you guys tell me about your movie, and did you all have a role in it, and what was your role?
We all had roles. My role was the crazy doctor, and it's kind of like a murder mystery.
Ooh, it's exciting, fascinating. How about you?
My role was the weather person who tells you about the weather and the forecast and all of that, and it was kind of like a murder mystery, and it was really funny too.
If it's a murder mystery, how come there's like a weather reporter? That's my question. Just don't know. How about you? There was a killer, I heard, right?
Yeah, there was.
Do we have the killer in this room with us right now?
Probably, yeah.
Ooh, I wonder who it is.
Not gonna tell.
Not gonna. Yeah, it's kind of like a murder mystery, like finding who the murderer is and who it's like looking in the news who it is, like person telling about what happened and what he heard.
I was one of the witnesses, and it's exactly what everyone else is saying. It's kind of like a murder mystery, but like it's with the news, and it was really fun being the witness because he has a bunch of funny lines.
I have never heard about a short film where it's like a murder mystery in like a newsroom. Well, I look forward to seeing it. We'll be back right after this short interview with the superintendent of Lake Orion Community Schools. Welcome to this edition of Orion Today. Today, we are joined here with the superintendent of Lake Orion Community Schools, Ms. Heidi Mercer. How are you doing today?
I am doing great. Thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you for taking your time out of the day to join us.
Absolutely.
We're also joined here with our co-hosts.
My name is Maddie.
My name is Annalise.
And my name is David.
All right, starting off, well, would you guys like to ask a question?
My first question is can you tell us some stuff about yourself?
Sure. Well, I first grew up in a little town in the Thumb, Marlette, and then I went to Central Michigan University. I knew that I wanted to be a teacher, and my first teaching job was actually at Walden Middle School. And from there, I went on to be the assistant principal of Walden, the principal of Walden, and then assistant superintendent of teaching and learning. And then this is my first year as superintendent of Lake Orion. And some things I like to enjoy in my free time, I enjoy running. and exercising and reading and spending time with my family. I also had 2 children that went through the district. I have 2 girls, and so I love Lake Orion.
When you're at CMU, what made you decide you wanted to go into the teaching field?
Yeah, actually, it was in high school that I made the decision to go into teaching. I had a teacher in 10th grade that gave me the experience of working with a student that had a hearing impairment in our class. And it was that experience that I knew then that I wanted to go be a teacher and work with students that needed a little extra help.
That's really cool.
Yeah. What are some of your hobbies?
Well, as I said, I do enjoy running and exercising. I do enjoy vacationing when I can with my family, spending time with my family and my girls. They would tell you I have a crazy hobby of I enjoy cleaning. I don't know, but that's therapy for me. And so, yeah, those are some of the things that I like to do. Boating is another one.
Cool.
How did you necessarily become the superintendent, and what goes into being in one?
Well, to be honest, I started off teaching, and I was happy with teaching. It was my principal at the time who really saw something in me and encouraged me to take on more leadership roles at Walden Middle School. And so I did do that and just became very involved in the district and kind of just continued to move up through the district. I've enjoyed every position that I have had and love Lake Orion, and so it was just a great opportunity in each of the positions that I have held in the district to work for Lake Orion Community Schools.
How long have you been working in the district for?
I believe I'm going on my 30th year.
Congrats.
Oh, thank you.
How much longer do you plan on being a superintendent?
I don't know. On this contract, I think I have 3 more years, so that is the plan. At least another 3 years, and there's several things that I still want to do for our students, staff, and community, so I have a little bit longer yet to go.
What are some exciting things you are planning for the upcoming school year?
Well, one of the first things that we are going to start off with right when school starts is we will be asking the community in November to support another bond. So we will be having a bond election. And with that, if our community supports that election, then we will have quite a few projects going on throughout the district that would we'd have the opportunity to enhance our high school, update quite a few things, potentially look at adding an additional wing for career and technology. And so that's one of the big things right out of the gate in the fall that would really, if we can pass this bond, would be wonderful for our district. So that is, I would say, one of the biggest things. The other thing is we still have some bond projects going on from 2018. We're working on a new auxiliary gym at the high school, so we're planning on that opening in December. And then when we come back in the fall, we will have some renovations that were done at Paint Creek. They are happening now with an additional classroom there, so we're excited about that. And then throughout the district, at the elementary level, we will be going on year 2 with our new math implementation, so we're very excited about that. And we have some new classes that will be starting at the middle school level and the high school level. So there's always lots of great things happening.
What are some of the classes you're going to add at the middle school?
We are looking at some of our electives, looking at making sure that all of our middle schools have a leadership class. And every few years, we just like to take a look at the classes that we are offering at each of our levels, just to make sure that we still have students that are interested and they're relevant. So it's always fun to hear what ideas teachers have and what ideas students have, and then try to determine, okay, are we going to implement some new classes and tweak some things?
And then also going back to the bond, For like the new bonds, if they get approved, like when will those additions be added on?
If they get approved in November, it takes about a year from that for design work to start. And we still have some projects that we are finishing up on this last bond. So it would be a year of planning, and then the following year it would start. The building, the construction of the projects.
What are your guys' thoughts on the new bonds?
They're cool.
Aren't you guys in middle school? Are you looking forward to new
Yeah.
classes?
Yeah.
Interesting, something I look forward to do.
Yeah, well, thank you. One of the things too on the list that I always hear from students is renovation and updating of the bathrooms. So that is definitely on the list across the district. So that's one of the things that I consistently hear, especially at the high school, regarding student bathrooms, and they need some renovation and some updates. So that is one of the things that we're looking at too.
Yeah, I heard middle school bathrooms are crazy.
Yeah,
Mine is crazy.
They need some updating for sure. Yes.
Any suggestions or thoughts on what should be improved in the district?
I like the idea of the leadership class.
Good.
I mean, yesterday we were talking, there was a suggestion you did have. It was one of the questions at the bottom.
Oh, can we have pizza Fridays for all schools?
Pizza Fridays for all schools. All right, I will look into that and see what that would entail. You like pizza, obviously.
I love pizza.
Oh, okay. Any
too.
particular pizza from a particular place, or just any kind of pizza?
Jet's Pizza.
Oh, Jet. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
all
me
right.
too.
Okay.
What are some challenges that you came across as a superintendent?
Challenges. You know, I think one of the biggest, I would say it's a challenge, but it's also something that's always on my mind constantly is safety. You know, that is something that I take very, very seriously, and something that, like I said, it's a daily thought and worry and consideration, just to make sure that, you know, we are keeping everybody safe, and everybody, students and staff, feel comfortable. You have to feel safe and you have to feel comfortable in order to be able to learn. So that's one of the biggest things. The other thing I think that is a challenge, and it has been consistently for several years now, is the budget. You know, I do not believe that education is funded the way that it should be, and so, you know, that continues to be a struggle, because we want to be able to provide the very best that we can, but the funding for education in general is just something that concerns me.
How early do you have to wake up to call a snow day?
Well, I try to call snow days the day before. That's always the best gift, because that takes the pressure off everyone, right? Just knowing that you don't even have to set your alarm.
Yeah.
But if we cannot call it the night before, then we are up by 3 o'clock in the morning.
One time I got up and it was a snow day and I was so excited.
Everybody loves their snow days. That is the first thing I learned as superintendent, is everybody loves their snow days.
Indeed,
Yeah.
we do. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
We used to share this building with the school board, but now, or not school board, I meant to say Orion Recs and Parks, but the school board will be moving into the building next door. We will see how the changes goes. Did you guys know we have a podcast room?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did? If you could create any podcast, what would that be?
For me, it would be about my sister.
Why about your sister?
Because, well, you know, all sisters fight, so, I mean, like, and all sisters have their problems.
So just telling the drama.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mine would be about Dance Moms, because I love Dance Moms. It's like my favorite show. So, yeah.
That's cool.
I'd talk about stop motion, how to do it, how it's hard.
Just telling people like tips and advice on how to do it.
Yeah.
That's cool. How about you?
I'd probably do a podcast about like using cameras, because I kind of just learned that, so it'd be pretty easy to make.
That'll be really cool. I'm sure people will tune in and listen to that. We will now be heading over to the podcast room with Joey.
welcome to the podcast room. I'm Josie.
I'm Annalise.
I'm Merrick.
Today we're with Joey, the production coordinator at ONTV, to talk about podcasts.
My first question is, what exactly is a podcast?
So a podcast is a way to either audio or visually share your thoughts, basically, or current events or anything that you want to talk about, you can talk about. It's almost like your own radio program that you get to make at any point and put it on social media platforms or all over the place so that other people can hear what you want to talk about.
My second question is, what are those foam square thingies on the walls behind you?
Talking to the mic a little, get a little bit closer. What was that?
What are those little foam thingies on the wall behind you?
So the foam behind me is a way to soundproof the room. So instead of the audio bouncing off the walls and kind of making an echoey sound in the room, it allows the sound to absorb into the wall, and so that you have a much crisper sound in our audio. And that way, too, if you had soundproofing in this whole entire room, it would also stop sound from coming in as often. And so you could have a podcast even in a busy area because you're soundproofing the whole room. And so it just makes the audio quality a lot better.
Does anyone here produce scary stories?
I believe there was a couple girls that had this, I believe it was called PJ Pajama Party or something like that. And they would dress up in their pajamas. And their first episode, I believe they were talking about scary stories. And they each would kind of go back and forth and give a little short story about something scary. But other than that, I don't think we really have any scary podcasts. So that would be something that would be nice to have.
Yeah. Where do we find the podcasts?
So the podcasts that we produce, we put them up on our website. We use SoundCloud and we also use YouTube. But people usually use other social media platforms such as Facebook. You can even put little shorts on Instagram. And they also use Spotify and Apple Music. So basically any social media platform that you have available to you can usually accept podcasts.
Can there be two different subjects in a podcast, or is one of them just like is one episode one subject?
Right. So that's the nice thing about podcasts is it can literally be whatever you want to talk about. You can stick to one subject the whole time. Sometimes that makes it a little bit easier so that you can have your thoughts all put together so that you're not jumping all over the place. But if you want to just talk about how your day went and what happened or what's going on in the world, you could talk about sports in one section, and then you could talk about money or something in another, or, just what happened at school today. So you get kind of whatever you want to talk about, whatever your thoughts are. That's the fun part about podcasts.
So why do you film podcasts nowadays? Why is it on camera?
So podcasts originated with audio only as a way to get your thoughts out there, similar, like I said, to radio, but you could do it. You could listen to it wherever. Well, nowadays there's a lot of visual people that enjoy seeing what's going on. So there's podcasts that have fun backgrounds or things like that. And you get to see guests come in that they have, and you get to see the reactions that people make. And it gives you a kind of a connection to the people that you're watching, a face to say, oh, that's who this person looks like, or that's what they sound like, and that's what they're doing. It just gives you more of a connection to that person. So it's just an option to be able to do. So I do have a couple questions for you guys. If you guys were to create a podcast, and we'll start with Josie, what would your podcast be about?
Anything that spills out of my mouth.
Just anything that you talk about.
Yep.
You're just all about Josie.
I yap nonstop.
Okay. Annalise, what would your podcast be about?
I really like scary stories and conspiracy theories, and maybe I would talk about my books. I write books, and just anything I yap about, like Josie said.
Yes.
Do your books pertain scary stories?
Some of them do. Some of them I just write one first-person diary of a character. I'm working on a book that mentions two girls in the same family, Lupe Taylor and Sophia Taylor.
And Merrick, what would your podcast be about?
It would be about video games like Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, because there's a lot of adventure and cool, stuff in it.
What would you stick to just Zelda, or would you talk about other video games?
I'd talk about other video games too, but Legend of Zelda would be probably my biggest.
Would it pertain to mostly Nintendo Switch games?
Yeah, because that's stuff I can put on my monitor. I can't put my iPad really on my monitor.
Okay. All right, I think that's it for us here. So, you want to close it out, guys?
Thanks
Thanks
for
for
watching.
watching.
Back to the studio.
Well, that was a cool podcast by Joey and the kids. Once again, we used to share this building with Orion Recs and Parks, but the school board will be moving in next door. We will see how the changes goes. We now have a special interview reporting live with Ian.
Hi, my name is David, and I'm here with Liam. We're interviewing Ian Locke, the executive director at ONTV.
Thanks for having me, guys.
How and when was the building purchased by LOCS?
Ooh, that's a very good question. Well, the LOCS took possession of the building in December of 2024. But the process of the sale and the whole plan to change hands and sell the thing, it took about a year. So the township decided they wanted to sell the building. The school district said, hey, this is perfect, and they wanted to get on board, and ONTV is now their new neighbor, and we're really excited to have them.
What will happen to the old LOCS building?
That's a good question, too. Well, what we hear, and we're not the official voice of the school district, right? We're just ONTV. We report the news and ask the questions. But what we found out is that the building will be sold. I think it may have been sold already. But once it's sold, it will be torn down. And it's, you guys probably don't know this, but buildings do have a lifespan, and sometimes it's time for them to go. And that's why the LOCS was looking to move. But once it's torn down, I believe it's going to be converted into parking space for the Eamon Center or the old high school downtown.
How will ONTV partner with the new LOCS people next door?
Well, we have partnered with the school district for a long time, probably over 35 years, almost 40 years. ONTV's been around almost 40 years. So we do games with them, Dragon Sports, Dragon Football, soccer, baseball, all that good stuff. But we also record the school board meetings, which are very important. And we're looking to partner with them once become our neighbors in helping them communicate information to the community better and quicker, and because they're right next to a TV studio. So it's easy for them to walk right over and say, hey, I have a message. We can help them record it and edit it and put it out for the community. So yeah, we're excited for those things, but we also work on podcasts already with the superintendent. And a show called Inside the Dragon, which we've been doing a number of years. So yeah, we're going to continue on that.
Will there be any podcasts or interviews with the new LOCS people next door?
As far as new podcasts go, I don't know. But we're always open to ideas. If you got an idea, let me know. But as far as interviews go, yeah, we're going to have a lot of interviews with the superintendent and different board members about the move to the building, just so we can help share that information with the community.
Thank you for joining us today, Ian. I'm Liam. This is David. We're from Kids Camp, and we're going to put it back to the studio now.
Just like earlier, we were talking about our short film that you guys got to make. Let's see how it went.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Dan Dramatic, and we interrupt your regular scheduled programming for a very interesting update out of City Hall. You might want to sit down for this one, folks. It's been a wild week in local politics, and no, it's not about any new policy changes. This is about a scandal that's less high stakes and more highly ridiculous. Our very own Mayor Jerry Thompson, who has spent years touting his unwavering commitment to transparency and public service, has found himself embroiled in a snack-related scandal. Yes, you heard that right, snacks. Specifically, a bizarre incident involving a vending machine, a miscalculation in the snack budget, and what is now being referred to as the Cheetos conspiracy.
That's right, Bob. According to sources, and we'll be honest, this is almost too good to be true. Mayor Thompson allegedly used city funds to purchase over $5,000 worth of snacks, primarily Cheetos and Doritos, for a meeting that was never held. Now the twist here is the mayor insists these snacks were meant for a community outreach event. He claims the city council needed them to strategize, but as one local council member put it, I don't remember any meeting, but I do remember eating 3 bags of Cheetos in his office.
In an interview earlier today, Mayor Thompson told us, and I quote, "We were just trying to think outside the bag." When asked why he didn't just buy a normal quantity, he said, "I wanted to feed the minds of the people." But of course, it's hard to digest that explanation when the receipts show that the mayor might have been feeding his own snack addiction on the taxpayer's dime. Even more confusing, someone in the office swear they saw him eating a sandwich during the meeting, which raises the question, were the Cheetos for the team or just for him to get that extra crunch for his political decisions?
And here's the kicker, folks. When the city accountant tried to audit the purchase, the mayor allegedly told them, "I don't have time for audits. I'm too busy crunching numbers."
So it looks like we may soon be seeing a city council debate about what really belongs in the city snack stash. Will Cheetos reign supreme, or will we finally see the return of a more sophisticated snack? Only time will tell. One moment, folks. Apparently we have some breaking news. We have a new top story. Murder. A word you didn't expect to hear during your dinner, unless you're watching this show.
Yes, Dan, a murder most mysterious. Our field reporter, Susanna is live on location with the cast. Susanna?
Thanks, Ronald. I'm here on Maple Street where someone definitely died and people are pretending to know things. Earlier today, this quiet neighborhood was shattered by screams, probably from witness Todd Tremples, who's here with us now. What did you see or hear?
It was horrifying. 1 minute I'm watering my plastic flowers, and the next bang, boom, yodelay-hoo.
Wait, what? Did the victim yodel?
No, but I always hear a yodeling before bad things happen. It's my gift or curse, or maybe I'm just lactose intolerant.
Susanna, I have a follow-up question. Isn't murder against the homeowners association policies?
I don't know if it is, but I've heard the victim will have to pay a fine in response to a noise complaint.
The victim is dead. We've confirmed it. That's why it's called a murder.
Here's a drawing of the suspect. I can't draw that well, so here's a unicorn. Isn't it cute, though? Right?
We have one suspect, a man so average that he's suspicious. Meet Lucas Brintz.
I just eat cereal and work in accounting. Why would I kill someone?
That's exactly what a serial killer would say.
It's Cheerios, not Murderios.
To help us understand the chaos, we turn to our weather expert, Lisa Rain. Lisa?
Thanks, guys. A cold front of fear is sweeping across the Maple region with screams coming in from the east, accusations from the north. In other words, the forecast is cloudy with a chance of murder.
Describe what you saw. I saw him, clear as a goat. He was sneaking around with a suspicious sandwich.
It was all part of the Owls government's plan. Owls, I tell you, they know too much.
Owls? Well, there you have it, folks.
I don't know who's winning, but my money is on the butler. There's always a butler.
Actually, we've confirmed that there is not a butler.
But there's a ghost butler.
Cause of death? Blunt force by a ham. Yes, a ham. Possibly spiral cut. Delicious and deadly. All this talk of ham is making me hungry. Isn't it so exciting?
Breaking news, the murder is about to be unmasked.
Curses, I could have gotten away with it if it wasn't for the stupid news broadcast.
I can finally go home.
There you have it. Mystery solved. Justice served. Possibly with ham.
And that's the news. Stay calm, stay safe, and maybe lock your fridge. You never know when your lunch might become a murder weapon. Gosh, I sure hope they caught the right guy.
Yeah, it would be terrible to think that some crazy lunatic is out roaming the streets.
Well, that was a great short film you all put together. You all should be proud of yourselves. I hope you guys had an amazing and fun time throughout this week and that you all learned a lot. On the count of 3, let's all put our hands in the middle. And we're all gonna scream ONTV, okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3. ONTV!